About 1,700 kilometers by road, it would take 38 hours of non-stop travel to go from the place of BJP's biggest win to the town of BJP's biggest loss in 2018. A loss that came about because a 62-year-old politician decided to bury the hatchet in Uttar Pradesh. Our person of interest this week is Mayawati, key to the equation that is being drawn up to stop the Modi juggernaut in 2019. 80 seats in the Lok Sabha from Uttar Pradesh and not one for Mayawati's BSP in 2014. When the Modi wave swept everything in its path to the formation of the 16th Lok Sabha, it was the BSP Supremo's test of pride to demonstrate her continued relevance in matters UP. In 2012, she had been unable to stop the Samajwadi Party from taking power in Lucknow, and the four-time Chief Minister Mayawati needed a good showing in 2014 to restore her dwindling political prestige. The BSP was the first to announce candidates to all 80 seats, and in each of them, Mayawati's candidates failed to win a majority.
यदि बीजेपी, सपा व कांग्रेस पार्टी आदि ये सभी विरोधी पार्टियां इस चुनाव में इस किस्म के शैतानी भरे हथकंडे इस्तेमाल नहीं करती, तो फिर इस बार के चुनाव में या केंद्र में हमारी पार्टी जरूर बैलेंस ऑफ पावर बनकर उभरती।
2014 was possibly the worst defeat that Mayawati had ever faced. Her Dalit candidates losing in reserved constituencies pointed to a general distrust for the BSP amongst the voters. For once, it seemed that the majority of those who voted in 2014 looked beyond caste equations.
What has happened that she, or you can say Bahujan Samaj Party, could not communicate the democratic principles. Therefore, because party has no spokespersons like that to go and communicate, she was the lone campaigner. I think people in this over bombarding of the media hype, she could not convey properly.
It might have been development, or it might have been religion, but the BJP conquest took Mayawati back 30 years in time, when the newly born BSP was struggling to put itself on the political map of India. The personal journey of Mayawati in politics stretches back to the time when she was in her 20s and preparing for the Indian Civil Services exam. Born as Mayawati Prabhu Das from a small village of UP, her Dalit family later moved to a locality in Delhi. The child Mayawati grew up in a house of 4 rooms shared between 10 family members, and she was different from her 6 siblings. In her desire to study, to gain and use knowledge to change her lot. Mayawati's father, Prabhu Das, was a clerk in the postal department, and he thought his daughter would follow him in looking for a job with India Post. But destiny had something else in store for Mayawati.
The kind of treatment she had to go through, which angered her against this injustice, unjust social order, which I think was ingrained in her mind, that we have in India a very unfair, unjust order, and we need an equal system.
In 1977, when Mayawati was 21 years old, a chance meeting with the Dalit leader Kanshiram changed her course in life. Kanshiram told her to stop studying to become an IAS, because if she joined politics, he promised that she would reach heights where hundreds of civil servants would stand at attention in front of her.
तो इसलिए मैं आपको बताना चाहती हूँ, मुझे मेरे बाप की बात तो समझ में नहीं आई, लेकिन मान्यवर कांशीराम जी की बात समझ में आई।
Kanchiram wanted to bring the Dalits to the center of the country's politics, and he saw Mayawati as the perfect face to front his cause. Mayawati's father threatened to oust her from home if she joined politics, but Mayawati's mind was made up. She knew she had found her calling. It was in the rough and tumble of identity-based caste politics that she would find her fame and make her fortune. Mayawati left home with meager savings and her B.Ed degree. Single in personal life, she married the Dalit cause, becoming Kanchiram's second in command as the Bahujan Samaj Party came into being on the 14th of April 1984.
When I met her the first time, she was very shy. She was not ready to speak anything. She was always pointing towards, she was, first of all, she was meeting in presence of Kanchiram only. She would avoid situations where she was asked to meet alone by any journalist or anybody. So basically she was wanting Kanchiram around, and whenever you are asking questions about what is her role in BSP, so she used to point at Kanchiram. So she was saying very little.
It was hard work to establish the BSP. Politically, the Dalits in UP, as elsewhere, were divided into several camps, and the first job was to unite them under one banner, that of the Bahujan Samaj Party. Under Kanchiram's tutelage, Mayawati went from one venue to another, addressing the growing crowds that also came to see the rare sight of this young lower caste woman who thundered on about Dalit power. Slowly, support for the BSP began to grow as those not belonging to the higher castes and the Muslim minority began gravitating towards the BSP.
The general feeling was that Congress had exploited the Dalits. Nobody was truly representing the Dalits because most of the parties were upper caste minded, and either the Thakur or the Brahmins or the Baniyas, they ruled the roost. They formed the leadership of various other parties. So there was a strong need for some Dalit representation. So that this Dalit vote, which is around 21%, could be cornered and captured.
Mayawati experienced her first elections in the same year that the BSP was formed. In 1984, Kanchiram asked Mayawati to contest the Lok Sabha seat in Muzaffarnagar's Kairana. Mayawati campaigned relentlessly, often having to make long journeys as there was no place for a woman to stay overnight. But in the end, the sympathy wave that followed Indira Gandhi's assassination meant that the Congress candidate won the seat. Mayawati came in third in her first elections. In 1985, Mayawati lost from Bijnor. In 1987, she lost in Haridwar. In her first 3 years with the BSP, the future Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh lost in all the 3 elections that she contested. But in 1989, Mayawati again contested the Bijnor Lok Sabha seat, and this time she won, one of the 3 BSP MPs who went to Parliament that year. The party's vote share in UP was 9%, a little ahead of the BJP's 6%. The next 5 years turned out to be very crucial for the BSP and in the turning of Mayawati into Behenji, the cult figure of Dalit politics in India.
Kanchiram was a visionary, there's no doubt about it. He knew where to hit and where it hurts. I will not say so for Mayawati, because Mayawati just came around at a time when things were absolutely, you know, Kansiram had prepared the ground, everything was right there for somebody to come in and cash on. She actually didn't show much of vision as far as Dalit politics.
While mentor Kashiram looked at opportunities outside the state, Mayawati for the first 10 years in politics confined herself to Uttar Pradesh, honing her skills to becoming a seasoned politician. In 1994, she wins a Rajya Sabha seat, no mean achievement for a newly formed party. So after the break, we'll follow our person of interest as she starts flexing her muscles to forever change the Dalit equations in Indian politics. If Mayawati had not met Kanshiram when she did, and she had gone on to become an IS officer, she would have retired in 2016. But that did not happen, did it? Instead, India saw this fiery politician making speeches against upper caste hegemony, speeches that paved the way for what was to happen on 3rd of June 1995. Not only did Mayawati become the first Dalit woman to be sworn in as Chief Minister in India, she also became the youngest CM of Uttar Pradesh till then. Mayawati was all of 39 in 1995. But hours before she was sworn in, she got a taste of the violent political arena of Uttar Pradesh. On the evening of June 2nd, a 200-strong mob surrounded the government guest house where she and several other BSP leaders were lodging. This was retaliation for having broken an alliance just the day before with the Samajwadi Party to partner with the BJP and stake claim to form the government. Hurling casteist abuses, the mob tried to intimidate Mayawati, but she was made of sterner stuff. Unfazed by the nasty situation, she took her oath of office as scheduled on the 3rd of June 1995.
The first racist comments were raised by Mayawati and her cronies. The BSP raised slogans against Brahmins, Thakurs and various other castes. There were slogans which I would not like to repeat, everybody knows about them. They were very, very sort of attacking and very vulgar slogans, so to say. But then, of course, other parties also tried to put her into place.
As soon as she became, Chief Minister, everybody took her very lightly, just like, taking Indira Gandhi as Gungi Gudiyas, They also thought that, look, she is also come, a Dalit woman, again coming out of stereotypes that how Dalit women are triply exploited. So she will not be able to perform, she will not be able to deliver. But once she took up the reins of Uttar Pradesh, she took decision.
In 1995, there were many who believed that Mayawati lacked the experience to operate a minority regime government. The BSP did not have the numbers to push for policy changes that the party advocated. Instead, Mayawati made some cosmetic changes, and so began grand gestures like renaming institutions, buildings, districts across UP. The grand celebration of Dalit heritage, symbolism that bode well with her core constituency but upset her partner, the BJP. 136 days after they had propped her up, the BJP pulled the rug on Mayawati's minority government, ending her power ride and bringing the state under President's rule.
Dalits could never imagine that they can be also ruler in this democracy. And coming to political power on their own. Earlier there were chief ministers with the help of Congress, with the help of other political parties. But here this was a unique experiment of Indian democracy which actually gave birth to a independent Dalit leadership on their own with their own agenda. I think this instilled confidence among the crores, millions of Dalits that they can also be ruling elite in this society.
In the run-up to the 1996 assembly elections, BSP Supremo Kanchiram announced a BSP Congress tie-up, projecting Mayawati as the CM. Post-poll, it was clear that the numbers didn't add up. The alliance managed a mere 100 seats in a house of 425, and the BSP's share was 67. Kanchiram went back to his good friend at the centre, Atal Bihari Vajpayee, to hammer together another coalition deal based on an impractical 6-month rotating chief ministership between the two partners. In March 1997, Mayawati became the chief minister of UP for the second time, beginning her 6-month stint as per coalition deal. With the BJP consistently trying to undermine her, she went about on an Ambedkarization drive. Crores from the state coffers were spent, all as an investment to widen her social appeal. When it was the turn for BJP's Kalyan Singh to become the CM, the BSP threw a tantrum. The coalition split and the BJP held the saddle on its own from October 1997 till 2002.
Kanchiramji, with his own experience, had come out in open saying that we have not got opportunities and therefore we are opportunists.
This was basically Kanchiram's game plan, that you should be ready in BSP, you should be ready to make friendship or alliances with anybody provided you get to power. So that is precisely what Mayawati followed. Make me the chief minister and well, I am with you.
On 15th of December 2001, at a rally in Lucknow, Kanchiram named Mayawati his successor in the Bahujan Samaj Party. When the 2002 assembly election results came out, the BSP with 98 seats was the largest party in assembly, ahead of the BJP. And once again, the old BSP-BJP coalition came back to put Mayawati at the helm of UP affairs for the third time. And again, within months, a controversy hit the headlines. Mayawati was accused of approving a massive shopping complex near the Taj Mahal. And much like previous two times, the acrimonious BJP-BSP alliance broke up. This time, it had lasted 18 months. As the new century begins, Mayawati has been Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh 3 times. But each time her stint has lasted a bare few months. In 2003, she becomes the president of the BSP. But then a section of her MLAs, BSP MLAs, they break away and they help Mulayam Singh form a Samajwadi government in Lucknow. And more disturbing is the fact that there is now a CBI inquiry against Mayawati in the Taj corridor issue. But it seemed that nothing could pull her down. With Kanchiram unwell and taking a back seat, the next couple of years saw Mayawati metamorphose into the leader of the Dalits, the likes of which India had never seen before. With complete control over the party and her core constituents, she initiated a new strategy to win the 2007 elections, to reach out to the upper castes. The tactic worked. On 13th of March 2007, Mayawati formed a government with an absolute majority and made the BSP a mainstream party in UP. This was Mayawati's 4th term as Chief Minister and the first time that she had the numbers to stay in power for the full 5 years.
She has instilled a confidence that on the issue of law and order, on the issue of administrative orders, on the issue of the self-respect and dignity of Dalits and the women and the poor will never be compromised. That is something, some big thing in the Indian politics, I must say, which Bahenji has instilled into the masses of India.
Negatives were that she spent money in the wrong places. She built these monuments. If you come to Lucknow, see them. Lucknow, maybe other places also, Noida also, but in a big way in Lucknow. you'll find these useless, absolutely useless monuments. They stand like the Roman Empire does, and buildings which cannot be used, buildings which don't have anything inside them. Needless to say that crores and crores and I don't know how much money was spent.
As Chief Minister Mayawati went about administering UP with a firm hand, there were other issues which helped chip away at her general popularity. Her extravagance, the splurging on jewelry, clothes, bags, the lavish birthday celebrations, and of course, the corruption charges. On 6th of March 2012, when the next poll results came in, the people of Uttar Pradesh chose the SP. Mayawati tendered her resignation to the governor of Uttar Pradesh and within a week filed her nomination papers for the Rajya Sabha. She was elected unopposed, but the influence and appeal seemed to be waning. Two years later, much was expected of her, but Mayawati, despite her best attempts, couldn't stop the significant shift of Dalit votes to the BJP. And in 2017, the BJP juggernaut continued to dominate. In the 403-seat assembly, the BSP got an insignificant 19 seats. And it seemed that Mayawati was all but a spent force in UP politics. But then she once again proved everybody wrong. In 2018, BJP's fortress Gorakhpur, the long-held seat of Chief Minister Adityanath, she engineered the BJP's biggest loss of face since 2014.
हमारी पार्टी के लोग मेरे पूर्व में दिए गए दिशा निर्देशों के मुताबिक ही चलकर अब इन दोनों सीटों पर खासकर बीजेपी के उम्मीदवारों को हराने के लिए यहां सभी विरोधी पार्टियों में से जो मजबूत उम्मीदवार हैं तो उन्हें ही अपना वोट देने वाले हैं.
Mayawati may have announced a coalition which no one thought was possible. And former bitter rivals BSP-SP may have rocked the BJP's boat in the Lok Sabha By polls. But then just days later, the BSP candidate in the Rajya Sabha elections, Bhimrao Ambedkar, lost when a BSP MLA cross-voted for the BJP. So these remain interesting times in UP politics, where the elephant may be out of power, but is still a powerful presence in the room.